My name is Pamela Skelly, and I work for the EastCon Regional Education Service Center as an Educational, Technology, and Staff Development Specialist. My topic is to demonstrate and discuss keyboarding skills for technology integration in order to effectively prepare your students for the Smarter Balance Assessment. This webinar presentation will discuss tips and show resources aligned to a particular Common Core state standard for 4th grade English language arts under the production and distribution of writing, but it is meant to be one model that can be generalized for other grade levels and standards as well. This specific presentation will align to the Common Core English Language Arts Standard Literacy W4-6. With some guidance and support from adults, use technology, including the internet, to produce and publish writing, as well as to interact and collaborate with others. Demonstrate sufficient command of keyboarding skills to type a minimum of 1 page in a single sitting. Learning to type is an important skill, and not just because the Common Core says it is. Anne Trebek wrote the following in the MIT Technology Review article in August 2011. Does it matter how we type? Yes. Touch typing allows us to write without thinking of how we are writing, freeing us to focus on what we are writing, on our ideas. Touch typing is an example of cognitive automaticity, the ability to do things without conscious attention or awareness. Automaticity takes the burden off our working memory, allowing us more space for higher order thinking. I think it highlights the fact that if you type well, your thoughts can flow as you represent them on the page. Furthermore, keyboarding skills are not only necessary for schoolwork, but also needed for most careers. Who should teach these keyboarding skills? At what age should keyboarding instruction begin? These are some of the questions a school needs to ask themselves. Each school district will determine their own plan on how to provide keyboarding instruction based on the availability of resources in the daily school schedule. Before sharing some free online interactive resources, I'd like to discuss some basic keyboarding tips and techniques. I'd like to give you some tips on keyboarding. You can read these slides and review them later for these basic tips for keyboarding instruction. Body posture is important for comfort and health. Concerning body posture, you want to make sure the spine is straight back against the chair, leaning slightly forward from the waist. Centered in front of the keyboard, directly in front of the J key. Sitting comfortable distance from the keyboard. And if possible, the feet should be on the floor, slightly apart for body balance. My favorite expression for describing how to hold your hands comes from my daughter's former piano teacher. She would tell them to use hamburger hands to describe how to keep their fingers curved, as if they were holding a hamburger in their hands to eat. Correct arm and hand position. You want your arms relaxed with elbows close to the body. The forearms should be nearly parallel with the slope of the keyboard. Fingers curved, tips of the fingers resting lightly on the keys. Hands close enough together to lock thumbs. Fingers upright, not leaning towards the little fingers. Hands and wrists quiet, almost motionless. The wrists should be low, but the palms of the hands should not rest on the keyboard. You want to remind your students to always return to the home row position. They'll feel the bumps on the keyboard if their index fingers are on the F and J keys. Keyboarding takes practice, and with enough practice, keyboarding, similar to writing, is done without a conscious thought. With correct keystroking, you want to make sure the beginning and ending all keystrokes fingers are in their home position. Keying each key with the correct finger. Keying the space bar with the thumb. shifting with the appropriate little finger, using the little finger of the right hand for the enter or return key, keeping the eyes on text, screen, wherever the copy is, rather than looking at the keyboard once that key has been learned. Now I'd like to show you 3 free online interactive keyboarding sites. Your school may already have purchased a program for keyboarding instruction, or you may have a favorite online site already. Hopefully you will find these sites and others provide a good resource to share with parents if you don't need them at your school. These and other keyboarding resources will be listed on slides at the end of this presentation. I'm starting with typingweb.com because it is a site where there is an option for teachers so they can actually enroll their class and monitor their progress. The free version does show ads. I'd like to show you the typing tutor. I'm not going to go into how to set up classes for this time. Since I have not signed in, my progress will not be recorded. And this gives you an example of what your students would see. So they would be placing their hands, imitating the positions for the home row with F and J, and then they're given the example. Another site is Typing Lessons Online. Here you can select the lesson type and then the level. This type of tutorial can be shared with parents so students can practice at home. On the Smarter Balance assessment, students will need to type some answers. If they mastered keyboarding, they can concentrate on answering the questions and not on finding the letters. My final example is Dance Mat Typing. This is from the BBC and it's designed for young children in mind. Take a listen as I demonstrate.
Hi there, rock and rollers. We're gonna have us a blast. Got those tapping feet on the ground? Then we're ready to rock and roll.
First, kids, find me 2 keys, F and J, each with a bump. Left pointing finger on the F, type an F. Right pointing finger on the J, type a J. Now rest your other fingers next door on the home row keys. Left hand fingers on F, D, S and A. Right hand fingers on J, K, L and the semicolon.
Here's a list of the resources used for keyboarding during this presentation. And these are others you can explore to see what's best suited for your school's needs. Here are the articles used for the presentation. I hope you find all these resources helpful as you align your curriculum to the Common Core state standards. Thank you very much for your time.